Hey everyone, welcome to Steph and Key TV. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps our channel. And let me know what you thought of today's video in the comments below. All right, New Jersey, let's get into it. So we open with Jackie. She's in her closet getting ready to pick out outfits for the yacht that everyone's going on. Her kids are trying to help her pick out a dress. And they say no to one because like it has a naked lady on it. I couldn't really see it, but the kids were like, no, you can't wear that one. Then we head over to Marge and Joe's place. She said he's eating a bowl of cannoli. I didn't even know you could, it was just in like a plastic container too, just like cannoli. Like nobody wrapped it up to whatever. He said because she's not making him breakfast, so he's got to eat a bowl of cannoli. But she's like a little nervous about going on the yacht and bringing everyone because Melissa's sick, and so she won't be coming. So Marge has one less ally for when she starts talking about her book stuff because Jennifer like really went in on her. So I don't know, hopefully Jennifer will be well behaved, but we know how Jennifer is, so that's probably not going to happen. So then we head over to Dolores's place. Frankie Jr., he's in Dolores's closet. He's taking the place of his father and hanging out in Dolores's closet, helping her get ready for the yacht. She finally tells him that she's going in for her biopsy. And she's like, I didn't want to tell you because it's like girl stuff. And apparently, like, I realized that Dolores hadn't gone in for her mammogram for like a couple of years. I didn't know it was 5 years. And I'm like, girl, you cannot be out there talking about breast cancer awareness and making like people like feel bad about not getting checked up every year. And you waited 5 years. But she tells him that she needs to go in for the biopsy. And he's like, wait, what? Because it's possibly cancer. And he's like, this is not girl stuff. This is health stuff. Like, you need to keep me updated on this. And she's starting to like break down the walls a bit and realizing that she needs to tell her family stuff about her health. It's so important because like you don't want to keep this stuff from them, have them be blindsided and not know and feel like they could have done something. So I'm glad she told Frankie. Hopefully she tells her daughter, and I'm sure everything will be fine, but it's good that she's opening up more about her health with her family. So important. But Frankie, he hugs her and he kisses her, and it's just so sweet. Like, she just has sweet kids. And he reminds me so much of Frank. It's just so funny, like how similar he is to his dad. But it was a very sweet moment. So we get over to Teresa's place. She's hanging out with Gia in Gia's room. Gia's mentioned that she might go out to lunch with Antonia, and I'm like, oh, it's so sweet. I love it when cousins hang out together. I just think it's the sweetest thing. But I guess like Joe left Gia like a voice message, and his voice sounds so creepy, so they're like making fun of him with his creepy voice message. He's like, hey Gia, I love you. And it's, yeah, so they're making fun of him. But like Teresa's being nosy, and she said, is that a girl on your phone? Does he have like a new girlfriend? And Gia's like, well, I met someone he was out to dinner with, like while he was on the phone. She said he was like terrified to show her the new girlfriend. But then Melania comes into the room. She's actually on the phone with Joe, and Teresa's like, oh, I heard that Gia met your new girlfriend. And he's like, well, I heard that Gia met your new boyfriend. And she's like, she got so red. She was like, girl, don't put someone on blast if you don't want them to put you on blast. She should have just kept her mouth shut, but she opened it. She was so red, and the girls are like, it's okay. Like, we know you're both dating. It's fine. So Teresa's trying to act like, oh, okay, so I'm going to go out and have fun now. Like, you've been having fun, girl. Like, you've got a whole boyfriend. Stop faking it. So I guess she's finally, like, ready to have it on camera, but she still hasn't told the rest of the women yet. I don't know what she's waiting for. I mean, the little medium lady already revealed it. So, girl, just show them. We're ready. So now we're at Jennifer's place. She hops in on her youngest daughter. I can't remember the youngest daughter's name. But she's just telling her that she's going on the yacht. And the little girl is just like, don't care. Which is like a stark difference from when, like, remember Jennifer's first season when she was going on her first trip away from home ever? And the little girl like called her on the phone screaming, I can't sleep without you. I will never get over that. Now that she's a little bit older, she's like, okay, bye, mom. And so Jennifer goes into Gabby's room. She's just trying to talk to her and see how she's feeling about the fight between Jennifer's parents. Of course, like Gabby's like, of course, like I don't want to see that. Like I've seen them fight multiple times, but I've never seen them scream at each other like that. So Jennifer just explains to her about her parents' arranged marriage, how young her mother was, and how her mother wanted to get out of the house because she had to do she was the only girl, she had to do all the cooking and cleaning. But when she got into this horrible arranged marriage, she was miserable and ripped from her family, taken to a completely different country, and had to just adapt. And Jennifer's talking about how there's possibly some jealousy there because she sees Jennifer and Bill have such a happy marriage. And I agree. I feel like that's why she dotes on Bill so much, because she wished she had a husband like him. But I just wish, I don't know. I feel like Jennifer, I feel like she's still on her dad's side. I feel like she's probably, I don't know what it is. I hate to say it, but I feel like she's playing it up for the cameras, because she just made the switch so quickly and so easily that, like, before she was just like, my mother was a terror. I hated growing up with her. She's so strict. And now all of a sudden we need to be there for grandma. We're like, she had such a hard life. We need to be more understanding. And I'm just like, you were just like, okay, whatever. But I don't know. I still feel uncomfortable about her putting her parents' business out there like that. And and she brought up the fact that, like, that's why I don't yell at your father and try not to yell at my kids. But I feel like your kids are pretty spoiled, right? Like, they talk to you any which way. They do pretty much whatever they want. I mean, like, you don't have to yell at your kids, but you can be a little bit stricter. And the whole, like, yelling at your husband thing, of course, like, you don't have to yell at your husband, but I felt like that was a dig at Marge. And it's just like, these women, they always find a way to, like, dig at each other without having to say the name, but we know who she was talking about. So we're finally on the yacht. It's beautiful. Everybody's flirting with the little young yacht dude, and Jackie's in her confessional talking about how Teresa's probably going to be flirting with him. And of course, when she gets there, she makes a comment about how cute he is with his blue eyes, and they're all just flirting. They all feel old because he's calling them ma'am. Dolores gets there, Jennifer gets there, and they finally go upstairs. They start talking about Jackie, because she said she felt old, and her 44th birthday is coming up, and they talk about where they should go, and they mention something mansion, and then Teresa's like, oh, I went there on a date. And so we finally get her little introduction about how she met her new dude. Apparently she was like praying for her parents to send her a guy. She was walking with her friend on the Jersey Shore. He came out of his Jersey Shore house, waved, they talked to him. Her and her friend got super excited. But everyone's like, how long has this, like, really been going on? Like, because they're not buying it. She said she's taking it very, very slow. She goes very, very slow and laying on the ground. And then Marge is like, oh, is that the position you two are in? But she said no, they haven't gotten there yet. Nobody believes her. But I feel like they're just happy that she's finally talking about this dude, so they want to meet him. And we'll see. I feel like we definitely seen clips of him, so I'm pretty sure we're going to meet him eventually on the show. Just don't know when, but they're not believing that she's not getting some, and I don't believe it either. She looks way too happy. And Jackie in her confessional said that she's happy for Teresa because she feels like if Teresa's happy, then maybe she'll stop doing bad things. But we have to remember that I feel like she's been dating this guy since they started shooting the show. And she seemed pretty happy, but she was also doing terrible things, like on the very first episode. So I don't think her being happy in a relationship is going to stop her from being a hot-ass mess and trying to destroy lives. So Marge reads the story about the situation with her boss to the lady. She's super nervous because Jennifer's there. Me personally, I would not have had Jennifer there. But she had Jennifer there, and she reads the story. And everyone's like moved by it. And then Jennifer starts to say, you know, like, after hearing it this way, I was wrong. And I heard when you talked about it at Lake George, you said it a different way, which she didn't, because they showed the flashback and she just talks about how awkward it was and how she didn't want to do it, but she did it. So I'm like, what's the difference? You just read it how you wanted to read it, Jennifer. So she's trying to, like, it's like an apology, but it's Jennifer's way. And Marge is just, like, not, they're just going back and forth. These women can't stay on the topic at hand. I feel like when Jennifer lashed out at Marge, she lashed out at Marge about the wrong thing. She lashed out at her about, like, her calling her a sloppy drunk. Oh, no. She lashed out at her about how she was talking to her husband. And then that's what made Marge talk about the sloppy drunk thing. Marge should be, like, angry about, like, the way you said that I was just sleeping my way to the top. But then she drags in Jennifer's Instagram live about needing a housekeeper and talking about how tone deaf it is. I'm like, can you guys just stay focused, please? So they start screaming at each other. Finally, Jennifer's just like, look, I have this big ass house. I got all these kids. They're all homeschooled. I'm just doing the best I can. I need some help, which I completely understand. Like, I feel for Jennifer in that situation. I completely understand. And Marge, she's like, I was trying to apologize if you just let me. But I'm like, you can't apologize like that, Jennifer. You can't. You can't be like, geesh. Like, because then it's not like a real apology. You just seem snooty and snappy. But whatever. Marge finally accepts the apology. Just let it go, ladies. Like, I feel like Jennifer, she keeps bringing up the sloppy drunk comment, and I'm like, Marge only said that because you were talking about how she talks to her husband and saying how sloppy it was and how embarrassing it was. Like, mind your own business. Jennifer is talking about, like, all that she's going through and with her family as well. Jackie jumps in, like, after, like, Marge and Jennifer make up, Jackie jumps in and asks her about the family situation. Jennifer talks about how she's possibly going to say something to her mother that will cause her mother to never speak to her again. And I'm like, what the heck now? I thought you were on your mom's side. Now she's going back? It's whatever. They're pretty much letting Jennifer know, like, it's coming from a place of hurt for her mother. Like, she still doesn't get it. That's why I feel like when she was talking to Gabby, like, it was for the cameras. I feel like she still doesn't get her mother's side. Like, she still doesn't. Because her mom was so strict and mean to her, she's just always going to go on her dad's side because he was hardly around. And when he was around, he got to be Mr. Nice Dad. But your mother was 16 years old when she had to get married to some strange man that she didn't know. He was not nice to her, and she has a lot of resentment. She needs therapy. I feel like the whole family does. And you need to be more understanding. Yes, have your own feelings about how she treated you as a kid, but, like, you're an adult now. Be understanding. You have a 13-year-old daughter. Like, you know times are different and you wouldn't put her in the same situation. So have some compassion for your mother. Oh, this woman. I try to sympathize with Jennifer. I try. Y'all, I try. So Jennifer does end up saying that she's going to do something nice for her mom. She's inviting all the ladies over and she's going to invite their moms as well. And they're just going to have a nice little lovely time. She wants her mom to talk to Jackie's mom because Jackie's parents don't live together and they live happily ever after. And the same thing with Dolores's parents. They don't live together either and they're, like, quite happy. So she just wants for her mom to get a little advice and maybe feel more, like, better about, like, the separation and feeling better about herself. Poor Teresa, her parents are deceased, so she's just feeling sad about, like, coming to this, but she's gonna come and help. She's, like, the only one without her mother. It was awful. But Marge just, you know, talks to Jennifer and just pretty much says, you know, let's just let bygones be bygones and hopefully they can keep the peace. But you know these shows. They're not going to keep the peace for long. So Jackie comes over to Melissa's place. They're just talking about, like, Joe and Melissa, just the tension that's been building between them. Then Jackie's like, well, I don't know how much you know about the whole Teresa situation. I feel like you know a lot, but she told us everything about her new man. Melissa played it so cool. I feel like she did a very good job as a sister-in-law. She's still playing it like, well, I don't know that much. And finally she breaks down. She's like, stop asking me. I don't know. Because she's like, I'm not trying to get in trouble. But she does say she just loves that Teresa's happy. She feels like she just really wants to see her with a good man who's treating her well because she's just been She feels like she's been unhappy for like 10 years plus, which I feel like we can all agree. She just has not been a happy woman. I feel like most women wouldn't be happy if they had a man who was constantly cheating on them, talking to them any which way, and then helping them be put in jail. And so I feel like she's in a much better place. She's got a happy new relationship. She's still messy as hell, but at least she's living her best life now. So Marge and Marge Sr. have like a very touching moment. They're just talking about Marge's book. And Marge Sr. is just talking about how like she just feels so bad that she wasn't there for Marge. She didn't know about Marge's sexual assault. And she just feels like she wishes she was a better mother, but she was just working with the best that she had, because she's like, my life was a mess and I didn't know how to give you advice because I'm struggling trying to fix my life. So, and she was very young when she had Marge. So it's just, you know, hurt people hurt. And sometimes we, you know, we do feel pain and we do suffer from like hurt in our past childhood, but when we get older, we do have to give our parents some grace some of the time, not all of the time, not in all situations, but in some of the time it's nice to give your parents some grace because they were just working with what they had and doing the best they knew how. So, and then especially when you become a parent, you realize like how hard it is. So I'm glad they had that moment together, and hopefully this just brings them closer. Melissa's sex talk with Antonia goes horribly wrong. Like, I knew it would. Why would you do this on camera? I told you not to do this on camera. Antonia freaks out, goes into the bathroom and hides. Because she did this on camera. Take her away from all of these cameramen and talk to her about sex safely in her home without a bunch of people staring at her. Melissa, goodbye. She's never going to talk to you now. So we get to Jennifer's place. Everybody looks beautiful. All the moms are all dolled up. They just look gorgeous. The food looks amazing. Everyone comes in and they're just talking about like sharing experiences between each other. Melissa brings up the fact that she talked to Antonia about the birds and the bees. They all freak out. They start talking about like when, you know, talking about sex and how they talk to their parents about it, or they didn't talk to their moms about it. And it's just, they're all sharing stories. We now know why Jackie doesn't like to give blowjobs. Because she had too many bad experiences in the backseat of a car with the nice guys. And it's just, they're just laughing and sharing a lot of fun stories. But then we see Teresa, she's just getting flashbacks of all the memories with her mom. She just breaks down and she's just like, I can't be here like right now. I'm sorry. I had like anxiety about coming. I couldn't sleep all night. I just miss my mom. She cries into like Melissa's mom's arms, and it's heartbreaking. She gets up and she leaves. Everybody feels terrible, of course. And this is just how the episode ends. It's just so sad. It was like really hard to like watch her just cry and keep saying that she missed her mom. It's just awful. But that's the end of this episode. Please let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you're in the know when I release a new video, and subscribe. I would love to have you a part of Stuff and Key TV. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.